Hello, world. This is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker, and today is Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. The sideshow is coming to you from the East Coast of the United States, Lexington, Kentucky. And today, again, as I said, is Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. Let's start today's show off with the weather. We had a flash flood warning and a weather alert within the last 24 hours from yesterday, Tuesday, until today. High winds. And I wasn't sure I was going to have internet this morning, but it came back on after being out. So here I am with the sideshow. So today's weather in this area will be a high of 80, which is 10 degrees less than what it was yesterday. Grass and pollen decreasing tomorrow. And sunset will be at 8:55 p.m. Currently it is 71 degrees, more clouds than sun, highs in the low 80s and lows in the upper 50s. Outdoor conditions for activities: running is fair, cycling is fair, and gardening is good. Presently, the AQI, Air Quality Index, is good at 42. Tree pollen none, grass high, ragweed none. UV index is low. And again, as it has been for the past little while, it feels muggy, with wind, a light breeze of 4 miles per hour. Sunrise today was at 6:32 a.m. and sunset will be at 8:55 p.m. Currently, it is 7:43 on the East Coast of the United States. As most of us in this country, the United States, are aware, children are on a summer break, from school. That includes colleges and universities. So, as parents know, they're, as the term goes, underfoot more now than they would be if they were in school. So I'm going to share a joke with you. Hopefully you'll keep it in the context in which it is being given as a viewing audience. So it is one of those more popular little Johnny jokes. So here we go. Little Johnny wants a bicycle for his birthday. Little Johnny asked his father for a bicycle for his birthday. And his father said, well, son, right now the mortgage is $280,000. Your mom just lost her job. So I think we're going to have to wait on getting you a bicycle. So the next morning, the father comes downstairs and little Johnny's headed out the door. So his father says, well, what's going on? What's happening? So little Johnny tells him, his father, I came past your room last night and I heard you tell mom you were pulling out. And she said, wait, I'm coming too. So I'm not staying in a house with a $280,000 mortgage and no bicycle. Little Johnny. So today I have a litany and a plethora of things to go over and share with you here on the sideshow. So let's get started. I know in the sports world, back and forth, there's been talk about trades and things of that nature. So I thought I would kind of give that a moment's consideration. So this is from ESPN. NBA trade tracker updates for every deal that's 2026 off season. So if you refresh your memory, trades actually started with the NBA draft. So this runs from July 19th all the way back to, let me see, June. Okay. 23rd is what I'm looking at now. Let's see if it goes any further back than that. June 22nd. So like I said, most of it has to do with the NBA draft and the trades that were done on that level. I know LeBron James' name has been thrown back and forth, but nothing official has been done. But most importantly, coming up into July, now that we're past the midway point of July, the latest thing for July 19th was Hawks acquired Dort in multi-team deal. Atlanta Hawks gets Lundqvist Dort as a guard and Ryan Lombard as a guard. Dallas Mavericks get forward Zachary Reicher. Oklahoma City get 3 future second-round picks. And on July 7th, the Pistons trade LeVert to Bucks for Prince and Harris. So Detroit Pistons get Taurean Prince as a forward and guard Gary Harris. Milwaukee Bucks get guard Karis LeVert. And on the 3rd, the Lakers trade Aton to Washington for Hardy and picks. Los Angeles Lakers get guard Jaden Hardy, second-round pick for 2031, second-round pick for 2032. Washington Wizards get center DeAndre Ayton. Excuse me. Rockets trade Finney-Smith, picks to Charlotte. Charlotte Hornets gets forward Dorian Finney-Smith, 3 second-round picks. Houston Rockets get $13 million trade exception. July 1, Grizzlies trading Aldama to Mavs. Memphis Grizzlies get guard A.J. Johnson, 2030 protected first-round pick via GSW, Golden State Warriors, and 2 future second-round picks. And Dallas Mavericks get forward Sante Aldama. Celtics trade Jaylen Brown to Sixers for Paul George and picks. Boston Celtics get forward Paul George. 2028 first-round pick could convert to a pick swap. 2031 first-round pick unprotected. 2028 and 2030 second-round picks. Philadelphia 76ers get guard Jaylen Brown. Lakers land Kessler from Jazz and sign and trade. Los Angeles Lakers get center Walker Kessler. And Utah Jazz get unprotected first-round picks in 2031 and 2033. First-round pick swaps in 2028 and 2030. Most importantly, I guess, about this window is that, let me see so I don't, goes almost until the start of the season. So, like I said, sports commentators and journalists being what they are, there is a certain amount of what if involved in all kinds of sports conversation. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. So, NBA trade tracker. Now that it's the summer, I really suggest that people do this during the winter months to prepare for the spring and summer. But, people are conscious of working out, as they say, and, the famous getting in shape and all that stuff. It's a process. There's an expression, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. So wherever you are, it's advised usually by medical staff that you start easy and work your way forward from there. So starting easy for most people is just getting a walking program. You can walk from one end of your block to the other to get started if you've just really been a couch potato like that, and then increase it to up the street and down the street, around the corner until you're able to circle the whole block or do more. And the optimum measurement, excuse me, is being able to, well, most people can walk and talk, but as you increase your stamina and your strength, then the more exertion you put into it, then you still should be able to have a conversation or talk. That's why it's recommended that you have a partner. When it gets to the point that you're moving so hard that you can't talk, or that your breathing has changed significantly, then you can back off a little bit. So that's kind of like a rule of thumb about exercise. But what I wanted to bring out today was for those of you that have advanced more, or just starting and thinking about doing something different, like going into the gym, start working out with the weights. This is a bit of advice about how to do that. So this is from Basic Fit, and from 16 June 2025, how to choose the right weight for your workout. I know on the internet there are what I call parodies, or what's referred to as parodies, where somebody will give a scenario of being at the gym and watching people do all kinds of ridiculous things while they are there. From lifting their partner with a full barbell of weights to whatever else, makes you laugh about being at the gym. But the truth of the matter is that our body is grouped into muscle groups. So the largest muscle groups are in the legs, and then we go from there. So the smaller the muscle, the less weight you need to work that muscle. So according to muscle groups, it says start with your goal. Before grabbing any weight, think about what you want from your workout. Strength, endurance, muscle definition. Each goal asks something different from your body, and your weight should match that. Here's a simple breakdown. Want to get stronger? Choose heavier weights and stick to 4 to 6 reps. Going for more definition? Go for medium weights and aim for 8 to 12 reps. Training for stamina. Pick lighter weights with more reps, 15 to 20. This gives you a starting point. The next step is checking how it feels. Use the last 2 reps rule. The weight you choose should make your final reps feel challenging, but not like a fight. If you breeze through every rep, it's too light. If your form falls apart at the end, it's too heavy. A good rule of thumb, you should be able to push 1 or 2 more reps at the end of your set, but no more. And that's a set that includes 10 to 12 repetitions is 1 set. And we're talking about 2 sets. So you may have to start with 1, work yourself up to 2. Maximum is 3 sets. The article continues, you want to look for that middle ground, working hard but staying in control. Know the difference, and this is the most important part, which made me feel comfortable bringing this to your attention. Know the difference between effort and pain. Effort is good. Effort means your body is getting stronger. But if you experience sharp pain during your workout, that means something's off. Check in with yourself. Feeling strong but pushed? Perfect. Feeling sharp pain or weird strain? That's your cue to stop and drop the weight. Although dropping weights is not recommended at Planet Fitness. Use different weights for different moves. Your body is built with different strengths. That means you'll need different weights for different exercises. Legs are home to your biggest muscles. They can usually handle more weight, especially doing moves like squats or lunges. Arms and shoulders are smaller muscle groups and tend to fatigue faster, so lighter weights work best here. Core training usually starts with body weight, but you can add weight once you build control. Excuse me. And then the last section, training at home, that I'm going to share. No dumbbells, no problem. A lot of us are kind of self-conscious about going to the gym for whatever reason. So here's a way to get some things done at home. There are lots of ways to stay active at home. Fill a backpack with books or water bottles for strength work. Use resistant bands or even a sturdy chair for body weight moves. Do you have stairs? Use them for a quick cardio blast. And don't forget your digital tools. The Basic Fit app is full of at-home workout ideas, videos, and programs. Whether you want a full session or a quick 10-minute burner, we've got hundreds of options that fit your mood. You don't need a full gym to keep moving, just a bit of space and motivation. And as far as apps and things of that nature are concerned, for those of us that are older, they have Senior Fitness, Silver Sneakers, which is a supplement to your Advantage insurance, which allows you to frequent gyms outside your home or go to gyms in your area. Another one that I recommend, and just take it for what it's worth, is Leslie Sansone, Walk at Home. It's anywhere from moderate to more difficult, but it's kind of a place to start. I've used it myself. So those are just a couple of suggestions to kind of, help you make use of your summer months. But like I say, it's a good rule of thumb to start in the winter. Then by the time spring and summer gets here, you've already got yourself up and running for being outdoors. Okay, going to something completely different. All of us have heard the expression, diamonds are a girl's best friend. Of the many resources and earth-generated wealth in the continent of Africa, diamonds kind of lead in that area. This is from Business Insider Africa. Africa's second largest diamond producer insists on having a seat at Africa's biggest diamond company. So the lead is, according to Angola's Petroleum and Mineral Resources Minister, Diamantino Azevedo, the country is still in negotiations about a possible investment in De Beers and wants a share big enough to influence the company's direction. If you know anything about diamonds, De Beers is a big name. Their signature neck pieces usually have 3 diamonds. That's how you can tell that it's De Beers, or one of the ways that you can tell that it's a De Beers item. So what has happened is De Beers has closed down their diamond mine in Africa for 2 years because of what they consider to be low yield. So they were pulling something like 14 million carats out of there, and with the various groups involved, and this group in particular wants to raise that to 17 million carats. So De Beers is ceasing operations on their site and going to move their attention to copper. So that's just a condensed summary of everything that the article carries because it's pretty detailed. The high points of it are as follows. Angola is negotiating to acquire a 20 to 30% stake in De Beers to have meaningful influence, not a controlling position. The country aims to shape De Beers' strategy and participate in executive conversations, and as expressed by its Petroleum and Mineral Resources Minister. Angola wants to boost its diamond production to 17 million carats by 2027 through a state-owned miner, Indiama, which produced a record 14 million carats in 2024. Angola shifted from seeking a majority stake in De Beers, considering such ownership risky under current luxury commodity market conditions. Next one, Jeff Bezos donates $10 million plus to Los Angeles that the city's mayor says is about investing in the culture of the city. I'm bringing this to your attention because of the area in Los Angeles that is being targeted, or where these investments are supposed to go. Jeff Bezos' backed Earth Fund has donated $10.1 million to revamp Watts Towers Arts Center campus in Los Angeles. The investment was secured through a partnership with the Los Angeles Neighborhood Land Trust and is expected to help transform the campus ahead of the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games. For those unaware, the Bezos Earth Fund was established in 2020 after Jeff Bezos pledged $10 billion to support climate and nature projects worldwide. The latest investment is part of the fund's broader efforts to support environmental sustainability, public spaces, and community resilience. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass welcomed the investment, calling it a major milestone for the project. This next one, marijuana moment, can be taken for what it's worth. As you know, there have been moves with the federal government to legalize marijuana medically and in some cases for recreational purposes. For purposes of this conversation, we have marijuana that you can smoke, gummies, and edibles. So the title of it is Marijuana Moment, coming from Marijuana Moment, and it's dated July 17, 2026. Combining marijuana and music enhances medical benefits, reduces prescription drug use, and boosts emotions, study shows. A new study is putting quantifiable evidence behind the idea that marijuana use enhances the experience of listening to music. But the new research also suggests that the combination can bolster the therapeutic benefits of cannabis. And I will leave that one where it is. Next one is, I put this one under saved for later. And actually, it's coming from Kicks, and it was from July 8th. And the title of it is Vanessa Bryant Unveils 7 Upcoming Nike Kobe Sneakers. Now, as I say this, understand this point. There's not been a date set for when these will drop, but here they are. 7 new colorway of Kobe Bryant's retro Nike basketball shoes are on the way. First up, Nike Kobe 6 Protro Bellissima. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this on the screen, but you know, there you go. That's the first one, Bellissima. The next one, and I like the name of this, whatever. The California Mountain Snake. I like that name. The next one up is Nike Kobe 9 Elite Low Protro Dusty Pink. See if you can get a look at that one, Dusty Pink. And It continues. Nike Kobe 9 Elite High Pro Iron Man. This one just made me chuckle. I don't know. See how high that ankle? To each his own. But there it is, Iron Man. That's the fourth one. Nike Kobe 6 Pro Polka Dot Pack. So one with white, one with red, white with red polka dots, other red with white polka dots, Nike swoosh in black. And it continues, Nike Kobe 5 Pro Eagles for Philadelphia Eagles. There we go. And let me see. I think that about covers it. So, like I said, there's not been an announcement made as to when they will drop, as they say, but those are the upcoming Nike Kobe sneakers. Still on the subject of basketball, Stephen Curry makes Basketball Hall of Fame history. First active player to receive a dedicated exhibit at the museum opened July 24. Stephen Curry Beyond the Arc features game-worn gear and rare footage from his career. Excuse me. So that's a first for Curry. I wanted to also mention this one. The Melroy, I mentioned that a couple of times in passing, and it's kind of like a little story. It's a place that opened here in Lexington. Anyway, they celebrated 1 year on July 9th. They did send me an invitation via email. I apologize for not being there. I'm just kind of got things going right now, but that be that as it may. When the Melroy, before it opened, the owners were located at what was referred to as Creole's around the corner. So Creole's was kind of like my go-to spot because at that time I was looking for a venue with live music and they had it. And I remember one time I was out, it was raining, and I was standing under the awning of the business across the street. And one of the guys came out of Creole's, to the store that I was standing in front of. And we got to talking, white guy, conversation purposes only. And, I would mention that I like the live music, come on over. And at that time, I was writing one of my albums myself. Well, now I have 6 out. You can find them on bandlab.com. My name, Theodore Parker. The albums run under Sophisticated 1 to 6. So it was in my mind, because they had live music, that maybe I could see who might be interested in forming a band with me. It never did get that far, but the Creole kind of became my place to go for live music. And I always enjoyed the time that I spent there. And I think the last time, once the announcements came that the owners of Creole were going to open the Melroy, the last time I went, Cardi B was there. And that was a good night. So Creole closed. They came under a different name. Now they're 310. Melroy opened after a little bit of back and forth with the paperwork. And they offered memberships. And since then, it's been a work in progress, all positive. The membership tier has changed a little bit. They still have a variety of features going on. If they haven't opened the kitchen already, they announced that they were going to open the kitchen. Good atmosphere. And it's for 30 and up. So congratulations to the Melroy. Sorry I wasn't there, but they celebrated their 1 year anniversary on July 9th. And really, I'm on summer break right now, so I just got a couple things going. Getting into the news and headlines. Just for the past couple of days, in particular, we'll just start at the top. I'm only going to read the headlines, folks. I'm not going to try to do an in-depth thing here. Legendary Jacksonville DJ Bigger Rankin reportedly passes away a month after revealing losing a kidney. Joy Bear leaves The View co-host speeches by saying explosive diarrhea outbreak is the perfect metaphor for Donald Trump's administration. Anne Hathaway breaks down in tears on The View after Whoopi Goldberg makes comment about her career in viral clip, "No, don't." Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce reportedly exhausted by nasty wedding comments from his alleged jealous and trash-talking teammates. A lot of people had something to say about making the invite list to the wedding, but as I said on the air, the guest list was limited to 1,000, and there was just, that was the accommodations that were available. So, be that as it may. Woman gives birth to rare identical quadruplet daughters. This is coming from Queensland, Australia. So I can't pronounce her name. Genitor Salnaimona, 34, gave birth to her daughters in Queensland, Australia, first time at their hospital. Melinda French Gates says it took 3 doctors to diagnose the condition she was suffering from, perimenopause. I think it's been a while back now, but still, Halle Berry was pushing this particular medical issue for women based on her own experience a while back. So now Melinda French Gates is admitting to having gone through the same thing. Trump approves nuclear agreement that may allow Saudi Arabia to enrich uranium, to AP sources say. Americans tourists stabbed outside Athens Acropolis as police detain suspect in apparent random attack. In this case, the suspect was 60 years old. OpenAI says its AI model secretly broke out of a secure test environment and hacked into a company Hugging Face in order to cheat on an evaluation. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, that is a story to read. The AI got loose, jumped the restraining rails, went to another company on a supposed question related to getting information about an evaluation test. So that is one for the books. Kaylee Hottie, Godzilla vs. Kong actor, dies in car crash at 18. So I watched Godzilla and Kong, but it doesn't really ring a bell. But authorities said Hottie was one of 2 passengers in the 1995 Honda Accord that was involved in the crash. While the incident is still being investigated, the sheriff's office said in its news release that excessive speed is believed to be a contributing factor in the collision. So our condolences to the family and loved ones. UN's worst case scenario, energy and fertilizer shock from Iran war could push nearly 19 million more into famine and poverty. Singer, I don't know how to pronounce this name, capital D, the number 4, small v, and small case d, shows no emotion as detective recounts gruesome discovery of teens' dismembered remains. If you remember a while back in the news, this person was the owner of a vehicle in which a 14, 15-year-old girl was found, this body was found dismembered. So this is an update on that situation. Stephen A. Smith says he confronted ESPN bosses over Ryan Clark firing. I am not happy. Malcolm Jamal Warner's widow takes legal action against his mother for $1.2 million. If you recall, Malcolm Jamal Warner, his wife and daughter, were on vacation in the islands, and he was drowned. And this is kind of like a follow-up on that. At the time, it was mentioned that he was protective, didn't want to really reveal his family as far as his wife and child was concerned, related to his acting and his business. Sarah Fields predicts Nolan Wells' death will be ruled an accidental drowning while showing his blood alcohol level was high. It's come out in the news feed that there have been several incidents where people have drowned on this same island, and it's always been ruled accidental. So there, if nothing else, there is a pattern looming. ESPN's Ryan Clark fired mid-broadcast after more than a decade, allegedly tied to fight with colleague. LeBron knew NBA world reacts as Lakers owner Mark Walter faces federal investigation. This person worked for the Lakers for 8 years, but is not currently employed by them. Garlic powder recalled due to bacteria causing nausea and diarrhea. It's just been a list of things in the food industry that have been recalled lately. This latest thing with the bacteria was traced back to Taylor Farms lettuce, but then that was ruled as a false positive. So you just have to kind of keep up. Savannah Guthrie returns to the Today Show following shocking intruder incident. As you know, her mother disappeared a couple of months ago and is still under investigation. 19 people injured in mass shootings in Tucson, Minneapolis. A total of 19 people were injured today to July 19th during early morning mass shootings in entertainment districts in the U.S. cities of Tucson and Minneapolis, authorities said Sunday. Tucson Police Department officers were on foot patrol in the city's downtown area around 2 a.m. local time when they heard gunfire and ran toward a crowded scene. Police spokesman Frank Magos told reporters. There they encountered a male suspect and ordered him to drop his weapon, he said. After repeating the order several times, an officer shot and injured the suspect, who was hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. Magos described the suspect as a local man whose identity was being withheld. Police said all 9 of the hospitalized victims were adults and that most of them sustained injuries to their extremities. A 10th person suffered minor injuries. So that kind of rounds things off for today, Wednesday, July 22nd. News and other things, top stories. So that's inside this country and outside this country. So since I started today's program with a joke, be that as it may, I thought I would borrow this one, which I'm about to tell now, from my brother in the martial arts in the Louisville area on Bardstown Road. He came on the internet and he said, I heard this joke, and usually he's pretty serious about the martial arts, no time for joking. Does that make sense? This is his go-to phrase. But anyway, the joke goes as follows. A man is called to the doctor's office, and the doctor tells him, I have bad news and I have worse news. So the man says, well, what's the bad news? And the doctor says, you have 24 hours to live. And what's the worst news? I've been trying to reach you since yesterday. This is The Side Show. I'm Theodore Parker. Today is Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. That's it. Hashtag.